Hello and good morning. I am showing up, doing the continual 2025 thing. Um, just like to come on live. I guess it's my new way, my new format of posting on the social media. I'm currently also streaming on the YouTube on Social Commerce 2025. Um, which is where the majority of my transparency experiment is going to be posted per se. Um, I'm still kind of getting the gist of how this all works. I've done it in the past years ago, decades ago, as far as going live and streaming. Technology has advanced considerably, so I am kind of doing that. I haven't quite put it into full gear since this year. My goal is to turn my poetry into a profitable situation for me. At least whether I'm selling a book or something, the main goal is to cover my expenses. Okay, so I've been taking this, since I went to college for it and found that it is it's interesting to say the least. I'm sitting here. I'm actually posting on the Facebook. I'm changing the stream to live right at this very moment, um, and changing some of the things. So that's part of the transparency experiment. What I found is that I do get quite a bit of lag on the screen share. So when I am trying to do tasks and to accomplish my goals as far as what I'm trying to accomplish, um, it takes a little bit longer. And so it kind of throws off my rhythm to do the live screen shares as I'm doing activities and actually working my way through um, finding solutions, exploring and learning, self teaching. Because what I'm finding is it's a lot trickier than one might think. Um, so yeah, I apologize for that. Like I said, it's a lot trickier than someone might think. Um, to learn your way through without necessarily instruction or a guide, or even to do your own research on Google and set up your own process. I've even, found that just finding a class that will kind of direct me on where I want to go may not necessarily be the exact thing that I need. Because in classes, it's covering a lot of different things in theory, and then we get into application. So that is kind of where I'm at. Um, I'm going live on Facebook, and like I said, on the Social Course 2025. Um, that's kind of the first step. You see, the first step is kind of showing up and setting your intention. So that's that's what I've done. It's kind of the third week in January. So this is where I am basically shifting gears. Like the first, I kind of had it in my head. The first month is going to be kind of feeling my way. Jump in head first. Do I sink or swim? Learn how to tread water, get my way to the edge of the pool, whatever it might be. I'm still here. I'm still showing up. Um, and I'm not expecting to get a gold record or to make $1 million. What I am hoping, though, is to produce and publish my poetry in a book and in song format. And hopefully, through that process, I can recuperate the investment, that I have into myself as far as coaching, education, software that I'm using, the time I spent learning the software, any classes I might take, or any connections time that I'm utilizing and leveraging on this, how shall we say, goal for my 2025 goal of, taking some of this creative expression, poetry, wording, writing, and putting it in a book. I've done a book before. I actually wrote a book, and it takes a lot of effort. Like the writing part, the sit down and writing part for me is like super fun, right? Like I kind of enjoy sitting down and hitting the keys and having the story unfold in my mind and putting it out in words and word choice and sentence structure. I really enjoy playing with it. Some people might think I don't really have a grasp on proper grammar. I just choose to um, spin it around a little bit, make it a little bit more fun, at least for me. Telling stories in rhythmic rhyme, musical song, even just singing along of what I'm doing. It's just always kind of been my natural way. And so that's the goal. And all the internet and stuff, I'm not sure exactly how they leverage my input, but I figure, eventually I might, if I put the right channels in, begin to receive some of the benefits rather than just having it go into the ether. And so this is part of my personal process and growth this year. And what I'm doing is I'm doing it online and recording it so there's a transparent record, so that I might look back, or someone might look back and say, "Oh, I could never do that." If for instance, yeah, maybe I make a few bucks from my poetry or in the music business or whatever. So I might be able to look back and say, "Oh gosh, look at this guy on January 1st. What a mess." Right? So that's the reasoning behind it. Part of the reasoning. The other part is because I'm on the cutting edge of, how shall we say, technology meets um, commerce. I'm hoping that big things happen because of, Donald Trump being, kind of, oh, let's make economy. Let's make money. Let everyone make money. Everyone make money. And so, maybe it'll be, oh yeah, he's making poetry using robot to make song, and he wants to play song on radio. That's money, right? I get money. I spend money when I get money. Okay. I add it to the economy. I go down and buy a hamburger from the hamburger guy, right? So it's all part of that process. And so the title today is showing up and finding like the small steps, right? Because come to find out, that's at least half of the deal. Show up. I'd say 90% of it is showing up with a good attitude, and willingness to do what it takes. And if you do that, if you show up with the willingness to do what it takes, even if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, even if you don't know where to start, if you come in with that intention that you'll find out what you need to do that day or that moment, you show up, you figure it out, and you do it. And the reason I'm kind of switching up from the longer format musical display and to the shorter format discussion is it's on the same lines. It's about me showing up each day and being accountable to myself and to the progress. Now, also, I'm taking advice. So, one of the people that I know that I talk to has told me explicitly, and I just finally recently understood it, and I'm kind of figuring out why, is you don't want to make your music and just put it out there. The music industry is full of sharks and people that are just out to take advantage. And like someone like me, a creative that really enjoys the poetry side and the musical side and just producing or just making playtime, maybe not so skilled on the recording end or the registering end or the copy protected end. And, there are other people that are super skilled at that, right? That can, oh, yeah, boom, 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 done. Where it takes me days to even understand what's going on and then days more to figure out what I actually need to do because there's not really I don't have a person that I can be like, hey, what do I do? This is what I got here. People in the industry are busy. They want money, classes. Oh, you take a class, $100, right? Does that class show me what I need to do? No, it has a curriculum, right? It has a curriculum of learn all this stuff. And within that curriculum, yes, there's going to be, if you want to do this, see? And so this is where the impasse is. Just kind of on a personal update, my end of the construction is kind of done. I got where I needed with my sheds. I got the electrical guy to come out and install power to my garage and power to my shed. It's the same guy that's coming to do the upgrade on the panel for the bathtub remodel. So everything, it's kind of coming into play, and that's awesome. And so I'm just going to continue moving forward, showing up daily, finding what I need to do. So I think I got it a little bit upside down. Like I said, I call him Adrian, the music dragon mentor, right? He's a friend of a friend who I'm going to say kind of took me under his wing. I'm definitely this first year, I'm going to break him off, like maybe even 50% of this first year's albums and stuff or music, whatever that I produce, because I wouldn't be able to do it without him. And he deserves something for his valuable time. Right. So this is kind of how the music industry works. I don't have anything signed with him, but I'm a man of honor. And I believe he is because of the friend that introduced me to him. And so I'm going to do my best to stay true to that form and stay true to listening to him. So I did things backwards, right? I had written the poem years ago and had published the poem on, different social media sites, different blogs or whatever. And just recently with the digital software that, is basically a songwriter bot, I could plug in these poems. So I never registered these poems, right? So as a blogger, as a writer, it's a process to register poems, to register a book, right? So this process of turning your poetry into music, right? So he gave me all the steps. And again, I'm just trying to figure it out. That's why I'm showing up here doing these streams to talk through my thoughts to come up with a more linear action, right? Because my thoughts are kind of encompassing everything complete, but I have to break it down, as my friend says, on the 3D level. I have to go from 4D and 5D in my mind to 3D into the temporal world of action. And so that's why I'm doing this, is to discuss through that in my mind, in my thoughts, and kind of lay that out for myself. The reason I'm doing it transparent is because, hey, maybe you can watch this, be entertained by my goofy antics, and maybe get some education by what I'm going through and sharing my journey. So basically, I went backwards. I wrote the poems years ago, some of them last year, a couple of them this year. And I was so excited. I plugged them into the software, made the songs, and played it online. Well, that was a big mistake, according to um, Adrian Dragon for the Music Dragon project. Um, Big mistake. Do never do that. And I understand now. It took a kind of a little bit of mulling it over. Like I was talking to a friend of mine who's musical, choir, poetry, had sent a music company his poem, and it was on the radio within 2 weeks. And here's the weird thing is, yes, if you understand the industry and you have connections, think about it. How hard would it be to go get a studio band and say, hey, play this? And even if it was just a hum along, that song is still in that core expression, that seed of enlightenment, and that spark of imagination. And so he tells this guy, and it doesn't take that long to register it. And if you know the ins and outs of the ISRC and the PROs, to get that number and get it produced and sent out onto radios, and to start getting royalties from that. So if you're skilled enough and you're knowledgeable enough about that, then it wouldn't be that difficult, okay, to take someone's poem, record, register. And so the artist doesn't think about this. They think about the art. I enjoy the art. The painter doesn't want to focus on marketing and selling his art. He wants to focus on painting. So a lot of times the musician doesn't want to focus on that. That's why a lot of times bands will have their leader that manages all this business and promotional stuff. So that's where I'm at. January 27th, I'm showing up. I guess I'm a little bit ahead of myself, but I feel like I'm a little bit behind. Coming up on the last week here in January, almost the 4th week in January, we get a few extra days. So I'm going to be switching February. Not going to be playing my music publicly, other than myself and my friends here locally. I am going to be going through that process. I think it was 11 or 12 steps that Adrian, the Dragon trainer, as I make these ideas up that help me remember things. Power productive play is what I call it. Just like sing song and learning. So this is all part of the 2025 musical immersion, the True Man Transparency Experiment, the musical immersion, and my further exploration into digital business. Now, I have done this process before on other things, like coaching. I was kind of into coaching for a while. Website development, although I've never really had a large amount of success. Podcasting, although I didn't stick with it, I have, touched, I believe, a few people that are really doing really quite well. And so that's uplifting for me. And this is what I'm up to. So Facebook, this is kind of part of what I've been doing, is the screen share. And so Facebook, I appreciate it. If you have been watching on Facebook, I appreciate it, but I'm going to be doing the screen share part later. So I'm going to switch off the Facebook. So thanks for watching. And you want to watch the rest of it, it will be on YouTube, about 19 to 20 minutes in, is where you want to start if you already watched this. But I'm going to be kind of going through just a little bit. So thanks. Bye. I'll talk to you later. All right. Social Commerce 2024. Awesome sauce. Since I am doing the screen share thing here, I just wanted to switch over and add Twitch, because this is part of this process, right? So I'm doing these little steps. I'm adding these little parts in. It might be boring for you to watch and learn along with me, but this is my learning process. And so, Social Commerce 2025 and Twitch are now live on this screen share process. So, I am in IR. I did get my number. So the International Standard Recording Code. I have a number that is my registrant code. Okay, so a registrant. So this is again the complexities of this. A registrant is the entity, person, or business that can apply for and attach ISRC codes to different tracks. Okay, so my music and music sound and music video recordings, right? Identification tool. So it breaks it down pretty simple. Internationally recognized identification tool. So when a radio plays it, or when someone's like, "Oh, I want to have that for my song," and so this is a lot of learning, right? So I am not going to go through this on the stream today, okay? Because I would take a little bit of time, but go ahead and you go to this website, right? USI RC USI. I apologize. I'm not, like I said, I'm just a new guy, but it was in the notes back there. I'll put it in the text right now. And that way, if you are interested in going there, at least you'll see it in the chat, I guess, the live replay, because this is where I went and got the numbers. Okay. So that is kind of where we're at. Okay. So Facebook's still showing me live. So I'm doing this transparency experiment, showing you how I'm going in and checking the Facebook and switching as well as discussing. So you can see it has ended. No one has watched it. That's fine. I really don't want people to watch it right now. It's for the future. So let's see. ISRC. So this is the Sound Exchange, the royalties, and then I have somewhere else the 12 steps or 11 steps. I'm a little bit disorganized because this is not how I work. This is not I work, I write poems, and this is something I can learn and right? Best practices: register before releasing music. Keep detailed records of all your work. Understand payment schedules. Join only one PRO per territory. Maintain accurate ownership splits. Okay, so these are just, choose a pro. I am an ASCPA. There's BMI and SES. Choose a pro, one of them, right? That's what it's saying. Only one pro per territory, right? So this is where I'm at in my process, right? And this is all the AI stuff that I pulled up, as well as what it is. So this is where it's at. I'll do a little bit more detailed stream on this, but today's stream, what I'm talking about is showing up with the intention to do the work, figuring out which step you're on, of course, if you've already been doing some stuff, figuring out what you need to learn about and learning it, and then distributing it. Okay, so I kind of went backwards. I created and wrote it and shared it, which is what I made a huge mistake on. Okay, which is fine. I can make a mistake. I'm human. But this is number one best practice: register before releasing music, keeping detailed records of all work. So this is, who did what, everything. That way, when the payment schedules come out, everybody gets their piece. If there's $1 to split among 10 people, everyone gets a dime. Maybe one person had a more, did more. They wrote the lyrics and wrote the music and played it and did the recording. Maybe, the other guy just showed up and played the music that was put in front of him. And so this is where accurate ownership splits is important. So again, my normal process of going and working from the bottom up, it just seems to be my brain, you know. Um, so that's the sound exchange. PRO, Performing Rights Organization, collects and distributes royalties to the rights holders when their music is performed and broadcast. So this is where I'm at today. And so that's why I am no longer sharing my music. Okay. I may share some of the ones that are protected and registered, but I think that it's kind of important that I will take the advice of my new friend of a friend, and protect it, because it does align with what the AI says as far as best practices. Register before releasing music. So that's where I'm at today. Those are the tasks or the obstacles which I am faced with, and that is what I'm setting as a goal, is to have some more of this music that I did create actually registered. Um, and I haven't even registered with the PRO. There's still some other things I have to do, since I am using a music bot. I have to stack some bots to basically, it's one thing to sing a song and say, "This is how I sing my song," and putting that in notation. Um, so that's kind of a complexity. Maybe I'm overlooking it, and I think that I need to focus on that also. So I have to determine which of those two steps takes a priority today. Do I continue forward with the registration, which I think I can do, but I think parts of the registration also requires me to have that notation, um, that sheet music, that melody written down, so that another musician that reads music can perform the music, because not everyone plays by ear. I do know a lot of musicians that do play by ear and that do know how to write music, and maybe don't know as much on the technology side that I do, but I enjoy tech, and this is my methodology. And as a poet, as someone that enjoys this immersion into reality, um, this is my methodology. So thanks again for watching. I'm gonna try and keep these streams a little bit shorter now that I'm not playing the music, and keep them a little more focused. So as the year progresses, hopefully they get a little bit more um, fluid, as well as building on each other. Because like I was saying, part of this experiment is to, again, by the end of the year, have something that I can put together as a more direct lesson plan. Something that I wish I could find um, to get through this process. Anyway, thanks. Have a great day. We'll see you next